AdLib Award 1989, and would you please give a nice big welcome for your presenter, Mr. Ian Taylor.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 1989 AdLib Awards. We are actually here to award and appreciate the work of a number of people. Not just the winners, but everyone involved in the projects themselves. And to present the first of the AdLib Awards, which is the best use of music, is a man who appreciates music as much as he appreciates buying a round. A man who has good words for everyone, most of them ending in off. Please welcome Mr. Stuart Glazebrook.
Good evening, all.
Good evening, Stuart.
Well, first I'd like to say what a very great honour it is for you all to be here tonight. And for this first award, the best use of music, the nominations are Nigel Windsor for Reflections of the Doctor in A Shade of Death, Eric Davis for the Banana Splits in Labyrinth of the Blood Devil Part 2. And thirdly, Ian Taylor for incidental music in The Legend of Drog. And the winner is Nigel Windsor for Reflections of the Doctor in The Shade of Death.
Kevin Taylor, can you come up, please?
Well, unfortunately, Nigel Windsor couldn't meet with us tonight because he's actually in New Zealand and he couldn't get a bus back. So, I'm taking the award for him. It'll be posted off, and I'm sure he'll be very pleased, and thank everyone who voted. Thanks again.
Thanks, Kevin. The second category is for Best Physical Stunt. And to present the award is someone whom I've spent the best part of the year rolling around in the grass with.
Oh, yes.
With Linda is Hilton. Please welcome.
Thank you all. Nominees for the best physical stunt are A. John Fields for a hillside fall in The Shade of Death, Nigel Peaver for being run over in Gang Fight, and Mike Taylor for a cliff fall in The Experiment.
There can only be one winner, of course. Linda.
Right, the winner is Mike Taylor for a cliff fall in The Experiment.
Well, I'm very honoured by this award. I'd just like to thank the whoever filmed it for getting it on first take, because I didn't fancy doing it again. Thanks, Alan.
The next award is the first in the appreciation of those tireless actors. The award for Best Character in Costume. Now, the presenter of this award has stepped in at the last minute, and unfortunately, I have to tell you, she's a foreigner in these parts, and she can't speak a word of Lancastrian. Hopefully I'll translate. Please welcome Miss Sue Schofield.
Thank you. Right, the nominations for the best character in costume, sorry about the accent, are Keith Molyneux for a corpse in Labyrinth of the Blood Devils, Nigel Peaver for a clown in A Shade of Death, and Nigel Peaver again for Lord Vayan in A Shade of Death. And the winner is Keith Molyneux for a corpse in the Labyrinth of the Blood Devils.
This is, I'm all trembling. I must thank Mike Hardman for doing the makeup on this and the terror which I went through doing it, because at the time I had a broken leg as well, which impacted the agony. Thanks, Ian. Thank you.
Now, the fourth award is for Best Camera Work. And here to present the award is a man who is to cricket what Quasimodo was to bell ringing. Please welcome Mr. Gary Cullen.
Best camera work. Some shady characters here, I'm afraid. And Mr. Eric Davis, him of Cannes, and Mr. Ian Taylor as well. Yes, the Legend of Drog. We also have a Mr. Mike Hardman and a Mr. Jim Goodson. I think it is. Is it Goodson? Goodinson, I should get it right. For Labyrinth of the Blood Devils, Part 2. And next we have Nigel Beaver for Experiment. And the winner is, or so it says on the card, a Mr. Eric Davis and a Mr. Ian Taylor. I believe, for a Legend of Drog.
I'd just like to say that I knew I was going to win it all along.
We believe you.
And this is what is a YTS cameraman, Mike. Thank you.
The fifth presentation, and this is the last one before the interval and the raffle, is that of Best Supporting Character. I'd like to bring on a man whom I hold in great esteem. A man with limitless talent and a firm grip on reality. But he couldn't come, so here's Gordon Langdon with his zookeeper, Miss Beverly Hyde.
Thank you. And the nominations are?
Stu Glazebrook as Stuart in The Legend of Drog. John Field as Dr. John in Labyrinth of the Blood Devils Part 2. And Nigel Peaver as Wrath in The Experiment.
Okay then, and the winner is my old mate Stuart Glazebrook for Stuart in The Legend of Drog.
Well, what can I say? I'm amazed. I really didn't expect to win it. Thanks a lot, folks. Thanks for your votes. Don't understand it, but thank you.
Right, back to business now, and we open the second half of the awards ceremony with Best Editing of a Film. And to present the certificate, we have a newcomer to the high-tech world of filming. Although he's come out of the closet this year, he's gone under the bed in his most recent production. Please welcome Mr. Gareth Preston.
Right, and the nominations for Best Editing are Ian Taylor for The Legend of Drog, Eric Davis for Labyrinth for the Blood Devils Part 2, and Nigel Peaver for The Experiment. The winner is Nigel Peaver for The Experiment.
I'd like to say what a very great honour it is to be here this evening. And I'd also like to explain to everybody that I'm afraid my hair couldn't make it. It had a prior engagement. It's playing a gorilla's scrotum in the world about us. For Granada Television. And I'd like to repay Dr. John's kindness in offering to lend me a wig for this evening by not saying anything else. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Nigel.